Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur. I make crappy videos every day, so make sure you subscribe so you can argue with me. And we have a problem. We have a huge problem coming our way. No one's talking about it yet. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. You're going to hear about it more and more. Can you hear it? Can you hear what I'm hearing? Can you see what I'm seeing? The 2020 election is getting closer every day, and it's going to be a disaster. Oh my gosh, we are heading towards probably like the most contentious, the most disputed. Yes, 2000. I'm calculating that into the equation. The most disastrous election ever. We are heading into it, and no one sees it coming. Right? It's going to be a mess. I promise you. They are like already filing lawsuits right now for the election before we've even. It's still May, but it is coming. Right? It's going to be bad. Coronavirus is obviously not going to be gone by then. It's still going to be around in some way, shape, or form. That's going to mess up voting. You can't have people within 6 feet of each other at the polls, so that's either going to depress polling or make it even messier than before. And you can't make voting inconvenient because then people get too happy and takes away their voting right. Um, so how do we hold an election basically during the corona pandemic and whatever shape or form it still exists in at that time, barring some kind of miracle vaccine that we can give everybody before then. So um, that's another video. So what do we do? There's a lot of talk right now about postponing there's a couple of things people talk about. Postponing the election, not gonna happen. If you hear anyone talking about postponing the election, they're trying to scare you, they're trying to get over on you, play into your fears. We've never done that in our nation's history, and it ain't gonna happen now. During the frickin' Civil War, Lincoln, his advisors were urging him to postpone that election. First of all, because they thought he was going to lose. Second of all, well, they thought he was going to lose, and at the time of war, national emergency, he had the power to do so. To Lincoln's credit, he said, I'm not doing that. We're fighting to kind of save the Union, to save our democracy, and postponing the election kind of stands against what we are fighting for. So we're going to hold it. That's more important than me winning. And if I lose, the American people decide, so be it. But I'm not destroying the country for my own, job security. Lincoln won, right? Thank goodness. Well, Lincoln won, thank goodness, of course, but thank goodness the election went on because that sets a high standard for of what it takes to cancel. Even a civil war is not enough to cancel election. It's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. Will it be postponed? I doubt they'll push it back. As a matter of fact, they might push it up with absentee voting, online voting. This is what they're talking about, and this is why you should be a little worried, and this is why they're going to be lawsuit happy. So, an alternative that's being suggested is really, really pushing the absentee mail-in voting ballots, right? A lot of people do this already. I never have. I don't trust it. I want to make sure my vote is counted. I don't even trust it. Putting my vote in the ballot box gets it counted. Even that works. I've seen and read and heard about too many voting manipulations and scandals and tricks and stuff like that. But at least I know it was in my hand until the very last minute, right? But many Americans do vote by mail, and every year you see more and more people doing that. I think in 2016, I looked at some website quickly. 16 states showed a combined percentage of greater than 50% of votes cast by mail, whatever that means. People voting by mail is doubling from 2012, 24 to 2016. Sorry. So more people are voting by mail, and that's fine because it's a portion of the voting block, right? And usually the absentee votes are counted after the election has been decided, and so I don't think you've ever really seen. I mean, maybe Florida in 2000. Okay, again, the exception here, but I don't think you've ever seen absentee ballots like turn an election. Elections never really hung on those 2000 notwithstanding. The election's already decided, and at that time, The votes are there just to pad the winner's stats or to give the loser a false sense of hope or something like that. But most of the votes have already counted at that point. If the majority of votes are coming by mail, again, it could take weeks or days to get the votes counted across the country. And we want everything now, right? Can you imagine the crazy chaos there would be if we had to wait 2-3 weeks to see who won the election each day, getting an update in the news on the new tallies and who's pulling ahead? Disaster, and all the time within for shenanigans for each party to get over on the other. The stakes are extremely high this election. Make no mistake. The Democrats will do everything they can. They've put the last 4 years on one thing only: getting rid of Trump. Biden is not looking like the guy to do it. And so if they have any hope of doing this, it's going to have to be through smoke and mirrors. And if this was normal circumstances, no corona, of course the economy wouldn't be tanking by then. Trump is probably going to walk away with this in a landslide. Corona, I think, gives Biden maybe a puncher's chance, but he's not a strong candidate. Sorry, he's just not. Okay, I listen to his podcast. I know whatever. So I'm an expert. So just it's fertile grounds for lawsuits if it takes that long, right? Plus, again, who knows if, just imagine the lawsuits that would happen with ballots that get lost, because it's going to happen, right? The post office, again, is facing bankruptcy right now. We may not even have a post office by the time the election comes, the way things are going with Corona, right? And so you're going to have bags of ballots get lost and misdelivered or maybe not picked up, and each one of those is a lawsuit just waiting to happen. It would be a huge disaster. Absentee voting works again now, like I said, because it really doesn't turn an election. It's just added on. We have enough vote come in on the ground to really give us a sense of who's going to win and how the voting trends are going. But we don't have that on the ground data. It just messes everything up, and it's just like I said, it will be ugly. 2000, and you ain't seen nothing in the 2000 election. I'm telling you right now. There are people talking about some way to electronically vote, which would be an even worse disaster. Every time this has been tried, it's always failed. The DNC tried to do electronic voting with an app, I guess, during some of the caucuses in Iowa. Do you remember that a couple months ago? And how that was a cluster because it wasn't working or it wasn't recording. It's just, again, fertile ground for foul play. If whatever, and I don't think we have time to even institute or roll something like that out right now, or even make it an option. But it's just, again, it's easy to get hacked. It's easy to have glitches. All the talk of Russia hacking the election in 2016. Why would people from either side even put the vote in a cyberspace where any country could have tamper and mess with it? The United States included from tampering with our own election. So that's why I'm very much against any alternative to voting besides paper ballots, because even that has risk, but it's probably the least amount of risk for tampering, and it is coming. Air condition is the worst. So that's where we're heading, and there's really no good solution. Either way, this election, like I said, is just going to be a huge, huge mess unless Corona, miraculously goes away and it's not an issue. We don't care about Corona anymore, and we'll take our chances. Or Plan C or version C. It's just lawsuits on top of lawsuits, complaints after complaints, missed ballots over. It's like the perfect storm for a ruined election, and whoever wins is going to have their victory tainted, I would argue, right? Because the losing side will probably have enough ground to stand on to say that the election was tampered with, that votes again were miscast or miscounted or misplaced, and they would probably have some valid arguments there. And so that just sabotages the next 4 years of leadership right now. And whoever wins is going to have to kind of carry that with them or try and shake it off. And it's just tensions are already high. Things are already very contentious. They have been, and it's just going to get heightened even more. But like I said, no one's really talking about this now because everyone's worried about the here and now. But again, in the not too distant future, this is coming to your doorstep. This is coming to your nightly news, and it is going to be a total freaking mess. Watch out for the 2020 election. I'm telling you right now, May 8th, 2020, it's going to be a shit show. So watch out for that. All right. I don't got solutions. I'm just telling you about the problems. Okay. This is Failed Entrepreneur. I got stuff to do. I know you too. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Hey, put your solutions in the comment below. Yeah, there we go. That'll help. And I'll catch you later.